Once, before the rise of highways and farmland, before the hum of modern cities, the forests of the eastern United States trembled beneath the hooves of giants. These weren't plains bison. These were Eastern bison, larger, darker, and better adapted to the dense woodlands and river valleys from New York to Georgia, from Ohio to the Carolinas. But today not a single one remains. Eastern bison, sometimes called woodland bison, were a distinct population of the American bison species, bison. Heavier fur, shorter legs, and smaller horns helped them navigate the dense forests and harsh winters of the East. They roamed in smaller groups than their western cousins, feeding in river valleys, open glades, and the edges of thick woods. For millennia, they were a vital part of the eastern ecosystem and a sacred resource for indigenous nations. By the late 1600s, European settlers had arrived in force, and with them came guns, markets, and expansion. Bison were hunted for meat, hides, and grease, not sustainably but commercially. Hunting intensified through the 1700s, and as settlers pushed westward, so did farms, fences, and roads. Habitat loss accelerated. What was once a broad woodland corridor became fragmented islands of forest surrounded by towns and agriculture. By the early 1800s, the eastern bison were gone. The last confirmed sightings came from West Virginia and Pennsylvania. They were one of the first large mammals to go regionally extinct in the United States after European colonization. While eastern bison are gone, their western relatives, the plains bison, still survive, though just barely. From an estimated 30 to 60 million before European contact, bison populations were slaughtered to near extinction by the late 1800s. Less than 1,000 remained by 1890. Thanks to conservationists, indigenous efforts, and public parks, there are now about 500,000 bison in North America, but most are hybridized with cattle. Only around 20,000 are considered genetically pure. Reintroducing bison to the east is difficult. Woodland habitats have been radically changed, fragmented by human development, and few large tracts of land remain to support bison herds. Still, some efforts are emerging. The Eastern Band of Cherokee Indians have discussed bringing bison to North Carolina. Conservation groups are exploring rewilding parts of Appalachia and the Ohio River Valley. Even Buffalo, New York, named after the bison, has considered symbolic reintroductions. But it would take massive ecological restoration, land protection, and cultural consensus to bring true bison herds back east. The story of the eastern bison is a reminder that extinction doesn't always mean a species vanishes everywhere. Sometimes it just vanishes from where it once mattered most. The woods no longer shake beneath their hooves, but their memory lingers in place names, in stories, in the quiet acknowledgement that something powerful used to live here. Displaced, but not forgotten. This has been Displaced Wild, the story of regional extinction. Join us next time as we trace the vanished paths of another creature that once called a place home.